Okay, greetings. I just theorized something and I'm going to talk about it. But before I do that, I'm going to show you a picture of this what we refer to as an airplane that is within the air, and following behind it is a long trail of what we call smoke. Some people call it chemical trails, some people call it gas. I don't know exactly. Let me see if I could get it in this direction also. All right, let me see. Oh, we go. Oh, it's hard to focus sometimes. All right, there you go. And so I'm following it, and let me follow that machine as it releases that trail behind it, and it keeps going. Now, a comparison I want to look around. See, there's another one over there. All right, there you go. There's another one over there. Maybe if I get up to take other pictures, you might, because that is the south side, right? But if you look into the sky all over. All right, there is a picture of the sun, and you can see that the sun is actually shining through some smog. You could see it's fighting its way through to get. But from what you're seeing in the low atmosphere, it's all blue. It's clear. All right. So, and I just theorized something. So I'm wondering. I'm just gonna keep the focus in the sky so you could see what's going on. I'm not gonna show my face this time. But actually, I theorized something. So if you look at the sky, it's totally blue. There's no cloud in the sky. All right. I can look all the way down there, and you could see three airplanes. One slightly visible. And there's two right there, one there, if you can see. Let me see if I could bring them up. Yeah, sometimes it's difficult to focus. So far, yeah, right at the edge of that thing, there's one right there, and there's one going down and one coming up. I don't know if you're able to see that. One going down and one coming up. Let's do this, and then we can take it up this way. Let's see. There's one, focusing. All right, so let's hear the theory. We are going to theorize now. All right, I studied a little bit about air conditioning in my earlier days, right? And what they use in air conditioning is a substance they refer to as hydrocarbons. It's particularly hydrocarbons, refrigerant, and it's made up of hydro, see, it's hydro and carbon. But I'm finding some similarities between H2O, because the water that they tell us that is formed, you remember when we were going to school, they told us that the clouds, the sunlight absorbs the water, it becomes moisture into the atmosphere, and then it goes up, form cloud, it condenses, and then it falls as rain. So what is rain? H2O, that's water, right? So if it condenses, that means the particle is slowing down and perhaps getting dense, getting heavier, and that's why it falls as rain. So let me continue. I'm trying to make sure that this thing is recording just the same, because I'm theorizing here. So this is it now. Now the air conditioning has four basic things, like the compressor, the condenser, the thermostat, what else? And a metering device. They call it a metering device. It actually brings the metering device brings the pressure of the refrigerant, the hydrocarbons that is within the that vacuum, that enclosed hermetic kind of situation, and it vaporizes it through a very small portal that becomes from a high temperature, which is heated, to a low temperature. So the characteristics or the quality of this hydrocarbon. All right, there's one more plane. So you see, as I'm talking now, I'm going to show you. I'm going to put the thing up, and I'm going to show you. And if you look, there's one more coming right over there. See, there's one more coming up right here. Two of them is going to meet in the middle. Let me show you and see if you could see where the two of them will meet. Yeah, both of them will meet somewhere there. All right, they have already passed. There I go. See, one to the right there, one to the left. And that one is going south, this one is coming north. All right, so let's continue with the theory. So H2O, that's the chemical formula for water. And so when you're talking about hydrocarbons, it's something I've never done chemistry, but I'm theorizing that you're talking about hydrocarbons right here. It's just that carbon maybe is added to this oxygen, and then it becomes carbonated. So no, I am theorizing also that they are using the atmosphere as a form of air conditioning unit without systematic control of the thermostat and electricity. Now let me tell you why I say that. No, if you look at what we refer to as the airplane, they are really at high altitude. So at high altitude, you have a very high pressure. Now, I am supposing that this thing that they release into the atmosphere might be some form of hydrocarbons that they are releasing way up there at high temperature. So at high temperature, once it falls to a lower temperature, it condenses, because it's the same process that is happening where you find that within the refrigeration system, this liquid up there is very hot at high temperature and high pressure. It's very, very hot way up there. So they release that sucker. All right, see two more coming up over here. All right, let me see. I hope I'm not tagged for this, because maybe this might be connected to, maybe I'm getting somewhere something they don't want you to know, because I'm looking around and there's no clouds. There's no clouds in the entire space right here. You see, and the sun is forcing itself to come on out. See, if you look around the sun, you could see the smog that's around the sun. You see, the sun is battling to come on out, but somehow, someway, for the past couple of days, since I've been here 2 weeks, I'm noticing that it gets like this, and then these airplanes pass this smog, and sooner than later you'll see a white formation overhanging at a very lower stratosphere, at a very low maybe lower density too, because it gets heavier. It falls, so it's getting heavier. Now that is my theory that I'm theorizing. So they are using these hydrocarbons into the atmosphere, and as it falls to the lower surface of the earth, it vaporizes and it forms cloud and eventually form your rain. See, I'm taking that right there. So I'm theorizing that they're using hydrocarbons and using the atmosphere as a kind of air temperature control. So that is the reason why we are getting this cold weather in the so-called spring, summer coming up. And you still find at night, when the sun is not up, the weather drops to a very low temperature. What is causing that? So I'm theorizing that they are purposely putting these things up into the atmosphere, and they are using them as a form of refrigerant that drops to a lower temperature, form the cloud, then the rainfall. As also, remember now, when you move refrigerant from a higher temperature, and you use that metering device to bring it to a lower temperature, it vaporizes. And when it vaporizes, oh, see, similar word, it evaporates. You see, similar word. So when it vaporizes, what it does now, it becomes cold. It gives up latent heat. So all of that heat that was up there now, it gives it up somewhere into the atmosphere. So you see, they are counteracting, because the sun is going to get hotter. If they are creating an atmosphere up there that is being, they're putting heat up there, even though they're sending it down here to be cold. That means the energy of heat is up in the stratosphere somewhere, and sooner than later everywhere is going to be hot. So I think they are helping to create this cold hot temperature. But eventually, see, there's another one coming, and they fly right across the sky all day long. See, another one is coming up over here. Ooh, look at that hawk. Let's come by. You see, just come and check me out a while ago, because some of them hawk are government. Man, I'm a conspiracy theorist. You don't listen to me here. I'm a conspiracy theorist. I'm a quack, a charlatan. See? Okay, these are going to form an X now across the sky. See? Oh my goodness, that one is going pretty fast. That one is going like freaking supersonic speed. Check that out. Yeah? Check it out. If you look over here on the north side coming up, see, there's another one coming up over here. See, I could sit here all day long and make recordings. But I'm theorizing. So for those of you guys who may have studied some form of chemistry, I don't know, I never studied chemistry. I just, like I said, I'm a layman that study a little bit of conditioning and know this kind of system that, you know, it operates through a compressor that has a low and high temperature side, low temperature, high temperature, low pressure, and also high pressure side in the compressor. So it comes in through a high pressure, then it releases it into a low pressure, low temperature by way of a metering device. So I am thinking, see, man, look at that. I'm thinking that somebody with some scientific mind and some know-how, they are using this air, what we refer to as the air, the ethers, the atmosphere, and they are releasing that smog up into the air. And so sooner than later, I'm going to take me another video where you can see how that very thing, if you look at the trail behind it, you will realize that the trails are actually increasing in size. It comes out smaller, and then you start to get an increase in size. So for right now, you're not seeing much of a smog or cloud atmosphere, but sooner than later, once that substance that is trailing behind that airplane falls, it's going to form some cloud, and then tonight is going to get cool, and maybe by the end of the week they'll tell you that it's going to get pretty cold out. So yes, so that's my theory. Could it be a conspiracy theory? I don't know, you check it out, but that's my feeling. I'm thinking that something is happening here, and you perhaps just need to share. All right, so big up on yourself, bless up on yourself, and have a good day.